Love Animal Kingdom, one of the best parks, most beautiful.
Harambe Twin Day, which means let's go. Well, Jumbo, everybody, how's everybody doing today? Hello, Booney, welcome to Kilimanjaro Safaris. My name is Travis, and I am going to be your game driver for your safari through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. A few rules as we get started here. Rule number one, I need everyone to remain seated at all times with their arms, legs, hands, and feet inside the vehicle, as we will be going through some rough brush and some rough roads. And some of the bushes do have little thorns. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. Rule number two, please do not call to the animals. No clicks, no whistles, no kissy noises, nuisance. Rule number three, take photos, lots of photos. This is a photo safari. Having no put your camera in sport or action setting. I can't stop for every animal, so you want a little motion capture as we go by them. More importantly, hold on to the camera, because if you drop it over the side, we're all going to raise our hand and go bye-bye as we continue on our way. You might get it back later in the day. You just not going to want to know what it looks like after a rhino's taking a few selfies with it. Alright, so a very important question. How's your Swahili?
Not good. Terrible.
But you know Swahili. You do. What's a Simba?
Lion.
Lion, see? What's a Timon?
Meerkat.
Meerkat, yes. What about a Rafiki? Careful, it's a little tricky. Rafiki? No, not a baboon. He was a monkey. He was a mantle, actually. However, in Swahili, Rafiki means friend. And Caribou means welcome, so Caribou Rafikis. Alright, so the first area we're coming into here is called the Little Aturi Forest. Animals here that live in the forest have colors and markings to help them hide really well. So the first thing I'm going to point out is off onto the right over here. That's an okapi. Okapis are sometimes thought to be relatives of the zebra because of its striping, but it's actually the only known relative of the giraffe. Shy and reclusive, it was not even discovered by the Western world until 1901. Then on your left here is my favorite antelope, that is a bongo. I love their color, they're so pretty. Bongos are also known as the ghosts of the forest, because they're really good about hiding when they want to. And then the lighter colored antelope over here, these are greater kudu. Greater kudu are the second largest antelopes in Africa. They can weigh as much as 750 pounds, and only the male kudu carry horns, whereas both the male and black rhinos are actually small rhinos. They only weigh up to like 3,000 pounds. They also have a triangular shaped upper lip they use like a finger. There's another one lying down. They use that lip to pull up grass or pick leaves and put in their mouth with it. Unfortunately, only like 5,000 black rhinos left in the wild have been hunted nearly to extinction for their horn. Does anybody know what a rhino's horn is made out of? Hair. Keratin. Keratin. Same stuff your hair and fingernails are made out of. Now hippos. Now hippopotamus can get up to about 5,000 pounds. They can hold their breath between 5 and 8 minutes. They do sleep on the bottom of the river. They'll rise up, take a breath, sink back to the bottom the whole time while they're asleep. They also don't swim, but they're very buoyant, so they can walk, run, and glide on the bottom of the river. The large white birds you see on the island there, up ahead of us, these are pink-backed pelicans. They get that name because during mating season, the feathers on their back will turn pink, and they nest in colonies. Both the male and the female pelican will build and tend to the nest. Guys, see this stuff floating in the water out there? You know what that is? Hippo poop. Or as we call it now, fish food. See the fish is eating in there? Seriously, circle of life stuff going on there. Hippos go out at night to eat grass and shrubs, come back, open the river, feed the fish. Then you eat the fish. Just keeping it real. Just keeping it real. Hippos, unfortunately, are the most dangerous wild animals in Africa, and they are the #1 killer of humans here in Africa as well. Ooh, Nile crocodiles on your left. Nile crocodiles can live to be about 40 years old, average around 16 feet in length. You might see some hold their mouths open occasionally. That's how they regulate their body temperature by expelling heat out of their mouths. They do have a jaw closing pressure around 2,000 pounds per square inch, which will crush the bones of its prey. But Nile crocodiles only eat on average about once a week, and they can go several months without eating anything at all. Logs are also referred to as upside-down trees because, well, it doesn't look like its roots are coming out of the top of it. Now, it only gets leaves about 3 months out of the year, but during that time, it stores up huge amounts of water into its trunk. Then during the dry season, you'll see animals like elephants, rhinos, or others tearing at the bark to get at the water that's inside it. For that reason, it's also sometimes referred to as the tree of life. Now, the savanna is created by the animals that live here. Giraffe are our pruners. They keep the leaves trimmed up really nice and high for us. Of course, you know when a giraffe gets it too high for an elephant just kind of pushes the tree over. Well, that's a good thing because when the elephant's done, the antelope will come along and clean up the remainder. So in a balanced system, there's always plenty of food. Guys, look to your left, laying out there in the grass, some wild African dogs. Also known as painted dogs because of the color of their coats. Now, they're pack hunters like wolves. However, they don't run themselves to exhaustion chasing prey. They just keep the prey running in a circle amongst them until it falls over of exhaustion. Dinner time. Teamwork, that's the key. Happy about something, Mother. Check out the macaws. Freaking the animals out. So the little light brown animals here with the black stripes on their sides, these are springboks. Springboks can jump 6 feet straight up in the air. And if you get them running across the savannah, they can make continual leaping bounds of like 15 feet each time. On your right there, these are Patterson's eland. There's another one up on your left. There's one on the right also. Patterson's eland are the largest antelopes in Africa. The male eland, which you can see back there, that darker one, they can weigh as much as 2,000 pounds. Then we got some Maasai. Now you can tell these are Maasai giraffe because they have that irregular shaped pattern on their coat, as opposed to like reticulated or Rothschild giraffes, which have a blocky, square, or rectangular pattern on their coat. How many people knew there were different types of giraffe? Well, look at that. Most of us learned something. Sweet. You may know what you call a group of giraffe? A tower. A tower of giraffe. No, there's 2 more. There's 5. There's all 5 of them.
That's a really tall one.
Giraffe can get up to 20 foot tall. However, when they're born, they've already started life around 6 foot tall. And 15 minutes after birth, a baby giraffe can be standing and walking with a tower. Don't ever let a giraffe lick you though. Ugh. Nasty, viscous, sticky fluid in their mouth. It's there because it helps them eat. To give you an example, the giraffe can actually wrap its tongue around one of these thorny branches, and that viscous fluid in its mouth will help protect its tongue from getting pricked. However, it's sticky, so all the leaves stick to the side of the tongue. Just yanks the tongue back inside of its head, strips the branch of all of its leaves. But their tongues are prehensile. They can actually use it to pick individual leaves off the tree with a joint. And the average length of a giraffe's tongue is about 18 inches, a foot and a half you can stick it out of its mouth. So back to the elephants over here. This is the smallest herd we have on the reserve. It consists of a mother, which you're going to see right there, and her daughter, which you saw right down here next to us. Do form herds, but herds will consist only of female and the young. You will never see an adult male with a herd of elephants. And a herd chooses a leader, a matriarch. She's not necessarily the oldest member of the herd, but she is the one with knowledge of where the best eating places and the best water holes are. When a young male comes of age within an elephant herd, matriarch will run him out. He will spend the rest of his life alone. So these are males, and as I said, they're usually alone. You don't see them in groups. When you do see them in groups together, it's kind of like, you know, I'm going that way, I'll go with you, kind of thing. But they never actually form like a herd grouping. Now, elephants communicate using a low rumble that's actually below the ability of humans to hear it. However, elephants can hear it up to 10 miles away through their feet. They feel the vibration of the rumble in the ground. And elephants carry their young for 22 months, almost 2 years. When it's born, weighs around 300 pounds. Greater flamingo on the island up ahead of us here. Greater flamingo are the lightest pink of all the flamingos. You get that pink color from eating brine shrimp and other crustaceans that are full of keratin. Now, baby flamingos, when they're born, are gray and fuzzy. You can see some of the little fuzz balls out there. However, they lose the fuzz after several weeks. They will not lose the gray until they're around 2 years old. And actually, if you see some of the older flamingos out there that still have gray on their heads and necks, those are most likely last year's chicks. Anybody know what you call a group of flamingo? A flamboyance. The ability to purr. Oh, cool. Bear lion.
Whoa.
So lions do form prides, usually consisting of just one male, a number of females, and their young. Females do most of the hunting for a lion pride. Exactly what they're doing there, you know, just kind of hang out, lay around, and sleep 20 plus hours a day. Now, about 100 years ago, there were over 200,000 lions roaming the savannas of Africa. Today, there are less than 20,000 left in the wild. Of course, when the English arrived, they misunderstood the word, so we got white rhino instead of white rhino. And there's ostrich eggs on your right there, a clutch of them. One ostrich egg is actually the equivalent of a couple of dozen chicken eggs, weighs about 3 pounds. Makes a really good omelet. Actually, it makes a number of really good omelets. And the shell of an ostrich egg is actually really thick and it's pressurized inside. You could stand on top of an ostrich egg and it wouldn't break. And I didn't believe that until they had me do it, and I'm a pretty big boy.
Welcome to the Scout this morning. This is our family group of Western Lowland gorillas. There are 7 members total. We ask that you have your phone cameras out, ready to take a quick video or picture. And as you head into our valley, we have a bachelor of gorillas on your left-hand side. And
I heard
four
you have
males.
to put your camera on the dot, sorry.
Okay.
You have to put that on, okay? Yeah. Everyone, make sure you have your cell phones and cameras ready. Take those pictures and mental images and move on to the valley. That's tons of family. Make sure you have those cell phones and cameras.
Hi, sir. Can you please pull up your mask all the way up over your nose? Thank you. Oh, he's quite a baby. See him? Right there. Right there.
Okay, legal, vamos, ya vimos.
Oh, so cute.
how they're naked. Most animals don't wear clothes when they're. You just want to play with all the. Correct.
I don't know. She want to play with
Wild animals don't wear clothes. They want. Okay, drag it on.
Oh, Bobby, look. That's a bad boy.
Can't find.
See?
Here comes another one. He's got his. Oh, there's one back there too.
See that one? Look at that.
I don't know.